Alright, here is the ugly problem in Chapter 5, Section 2, Circles. I think there might be a few similar to this one on your homework, but overall, a problem like this is not, in general, going to usually show up on something like a test or a final exam. So it's just kind of to understand the whole gamut of using whatever we have to find the equation of a circle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the center using a midpoint. It feels like every time I try to change the color of my pen, it doesn't work. So the midpoint formula is basically a midpoint is an average of the endpoints. So if we have endpoints of our diameter here and here, midpoint's going to be in the middle of those. We find that answer by adding our x's together, dividing by 2, adding our y's together, and dividing by 2. That's supposed to be a y. Okay, so that gives us -1 is an x, 2 is an x, divided by 2, and 3 is a y, 4 is a y, divided by 2, which gives us 1/2 and 7/2. Ugh, ugly numbers for our midpoint. Oh well, we'll deal with it. Okay, now the other thing we need, remember when we're finding the equation, we need to know the center. The other thing we need to know is the radius. So we're going to find the radius by using the distance formula. All right. So to do the distance formula, the distance between 2 points basically comes from Pythagorean theorem, just like the circle formula does. So we do the distance between the x values squared, because that gives us one side of a right triangle, and then we do the distance of the y values squared, and that gives us the other side of a triangle, and then we add the squares together and square root it, and that gives us the hypotenuse of the triangle, which is the distance between 2 points. So we're going to go the distance between the center, really not liking my handwriting today, and another point. I think that's because I'm trying to hurry, and when my computer is bogged down, it does not respond well to me trying to hurry. Okay, between center and another point. So we have 2 points. We can choose whichever one we want. I don't know if it matters. Maybe I'll just do this one. And then, of course, we have to use our center. So we're going to do 2 minus 1/2 squared, and then 4 minus 7/2 squared, and that gives us 1.5 or 3/2 squared, and then 4 would be 8/2, so 8/2 minus 7/2 is 1/2 squared, which would give us 9/4 plus 1/4, so 10/4. And the square root of the 4 on the bottom is 2. So it would be the square root of 10 over 2. That's kind of an ugly R value, but we'll go with it. Who said the numbers had to be pretty, right? So now we have the center. We have the radius. So there's HK. We have the radius. We're going to use our formula. So we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now the cool thing about squaring a square root is it gets rid of the square root, which makes this at least a little bit nicer looking. So this part here would be, nope, I messed that up because I read a 4 again instead of a 2. It just takes us back to our original 10/4, which reduces to 5/2, right? So this number at the end would be 10/4 or 5/2, And so our equation would look like this with the 5 halves at the end. Kind of want to just take this part out and put that 5 halves in there. Now that I've explained it, it just looks a little clunky. Ta-da! There's the equation for this circle with endpoints of a diameter at -1, 3 and +2, 4. You could always sketch a graph to kind of verify that that looks right.